You are welcome. This is the day 3 in the Learn Python series. In today's class, we learn more about if condition. If statement. So if statement play a big role in any language. So it may be Python, or it may be a C, C++, Visual Basic, C#, you name any language. So if statement is very important in that language. Therefore, you need to understand the if statement thoroughly, how to use the if statement, where to use, how do you do the utilization, based on that how do you work. So these are the important things in the if statement. So we learn more about if statement in this class. Apart from this if statement, so we have for statement and the while statement. These two we'll discuss in the next class. If statement, the general syntax for if statement is if test expression. So test expression is to compare the variable with the value or with other variable. On comparison, so if the comparison is true, then do something, else you do something else. So there are two parts here. One is if it's true, when the comparison is true, what we want to do. When the comparison is false, what we want to do. So therefore, if condition is to check the condition. To check what are the value given and what are the value available, both are same or different, or they are greater than or less than or equal or not equal. So all logical comparisons we can do in a if statement. So let us take an example because we go more practical way. So we'll understand using the some programs and see that how that program works. So here is an example. So I'll just copy this example. As we suggested already, so you please write down the examples. After watching this video, you can type and run and execute, check it out. That is a one way. Other way, parallelly you can run the Python idle above the video. For example, I'll show you like how to do this. So let's go back to, okay, I just open the browser. So if you have a shortcut to our website, sorry, our channel, so click the channel, so you'll open the channel. So you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. And then which chapter you want to open the chapter. Hello. Fine, so the video is running here. Fine, now what you can do is you can open the idle. Python idle or Python shell. Right, so to open the Python shell, so you can go to Python. So then I say ideally, so ideally Python, so 64-bit. So now you can see that Python shell is on screen, so you can reduce the size. So keep it here. And what are you here? So then parallel you can type and practice. Fine. So here the examples are given there. So we are talking about here list_var and tuple_var. So they can write tuple, okay. So therefore tuple var that is equal to, so is a bracket. So 1, 2, 3. Then close the bracket. And you want to print the values, you can see that you'll get the values. So same is explained in that video also. So by watching video you can also parallelly practice and then learn. That is other thing. So we preferably say you can write down in a notebook first, then you practice. Therefore the ability to learn will increases, and because you write once you will be remember for longer time. That is also good way. If you are short of time, then open the Python idle on screen and listen to the video and stop the video whenever is required and then practice it, understand it, then you continue with the video. So this way you can learn Python much easier and faster. So what do you think? Please write it in the comment box. Let me know what you feel, how it works, whether everything is okay or you need some more changes into that. Okay, fine. I'll close this. Let us continue with the if conditions today. So here is an example if condition statement. So num is equal to 5. So we say one variable num that we are assigned to 5. So for 5 will go to num. Then our num value is the 5. Then we check num greater than 0. So here we are using the greater than. Other than greater than, we can use all the symbols. So what are the symbols we can use here is generally equal. Okay. So you have to compare the two equal sign you have to use. Then greater than, then less than, then greater than or equal to, then less than or equal to. Right. So all these we can use to compare the values. Right. Then if you can see that there is an indent here, 4 spaces is given. So it means after if there is a colon here, you don't forget the colon. Okay, colon is important here. Colon so is important, indicating that there is a statement. Right. So then next line, this comes under the if statement. So give the 4 spaces and write num. What are the values there? It is a positive number. It is a positive number. Next, if you take the so if you type the things from the beginning, it means that if condition is over here. Like in any other language, generally we say if, then you have an open parenthesis, there is a flower bracket, and then we'll close the flower bracket, indicating that condition is over. So most of the language will follow this. Otherwise, in like in Visual Basic, there is an end if here. If, then end if, mean that the statement is over here. So most of the languages follow these flower brackets. So open the flower bracket and close the flower bracket, indicating that condition is over. Whereas in case of Python, so there is no open parenthesis and close parenthesis. So instead of that, you have to give the condition if num is equal to 0. Then you have to say statement is over. The colon indicate that if statement is over. Then what is the next? If true, what to do? So give 4 spaces or tab key. So then you have to type what you want to do. If that is equal to 0. If num is equal to 0, then you can print 0. Right. So that condition is over. Now we don't want to do anything with next condition. So you want to go back to the main. So then there you write like print. So if condition is over here. So this statement is nothing to do with the if statement. So whatever the true or false, this is get over here, and next this will print as usual. Fine. Now let's execute this. I'll remark the whole this thing. Right. Control K. Save this. Then execute. So 5 is a positive number. Because why? 5 is greater than 0. Therefore, it's a positive number. And you can see that this line will printed. So you want one more line on the top also. You can print on the top also. So therefore, this statement has to come between the 2 lines. So you can see that top one line, and here is one more line. And you want to bring this 5 to right side. What to do? So you have to use the tab. So /t that we discussed earlier. Right. So Control S, Control E. You can see that there is a space here. One tab space. Done. So this is to check whether the number is greater than or 0. So in this case, number is greater than 0. Therefore, this statement will be executed. And this statement is nothing to do with the if statement. So anyhow it will execute because this is in the outside of the if statement, or it's in the regular coding. So if you write in the first space, okay, where the space starts or where the line starts, from that point if you write, so that is a common syntax or common coding. So if you write giving the spaces, then it's an indent. So that is applicable to the previous statement. So what is the statement you write here? So it's applicable to this statement. Fine. So now I'll remark this. So we'll see that this how it will work. If num is equal to 0. If num is equal to 0, you have to print 0. Here else you say print condition is over. Whereas number is equal to 5. Okay, let me make it 0. So 0. if condition is over. So condition is over. That means that is common. Therefore it is printing. Even it is not 0 also it will print. Okay. So let's say some 5 here. But this statement will print if condition is over. So that means that condition which is above will not applicable to this one. Only if you make an indent or if you give the space and write the statement, the statement applicable to if statement. So this you need to know. Fine. So we'll move on. So we'll take a next example. Fine. So in this case, I'll just take the example. So num is equal to 5, num greater than 0, print positive number. Okay. Now it's a positive number or not? Let's check what happened. So you can see that there is an error here. What is the error? Not supported between instance of str and integer. So what is the meaning of str and integer? So here what happened? We are passing the value in a single quotes. We are passing the value in a single quote. Now if you type and check what is this number type, so you can say print type num. So print will give the type will give the type of the variable, what type it is. Okay. So now save this, and if you execute, so you can see that class str, the number is str. This is the string, and string we are comparing with the integer. 0 is an integer. String cannot be compared with the integer, therefore it's an error. Now how to solve this problem? So if you have any value that you are assume that it may be a string, then you have to convert that into integer. So in order to convert to integer, you have to use the int function, int num. Int num. So now whatever the number, whether it's a string or a number, so they should be converted to integer, then it should pass to the number. So then you can type this number. Now you to check it out, what is this type. Then both are integer. Now it will compare and the output will come. So now save, run. Now you can say 5 is a positive integer. That's class integer. Now it is a num is a integer type. Num is a integer type. So therefore when you compare, you see to it both the side, left side and right side, have the same data type. If the data type are different, then naturally you'll get the error. Okay, so we'll move on. So we'll see the next example. So instead of giving the static value here, so let's read the value from the user. So then we'll check whether it is a positive number or not. So read the value from the user. Let's remark this. So num is equal to input, please enter the number. Then we are converting to integer here. Again, we are using the int function here. If number greater than 0, then it's a positive number. That same example, but now instead of give the value by default, we want user to enter the value. So now enter the number. So it's a positive number. So let's say -5. So nothing is printed. So therefore only true part is there. So else is not there here. So therefore if that is not the case, then what to do? That we need to write here. Right? So num is equal to int input, please enter the number. Then if num greater than 0, print num, it is positive number. So here num you are using to print the same number. Right. So we'll go to next example. So please enter the number in between 0 to 10. So else you have to say correct entry. So now here what you want to do is, here's another example. If you enter the correct number, you say we want to say is a correct number. Otherwise we want to say wrong number. So here what we are asking, please enter the number between 0 to 10. So the user has to enter between 0 to 10. Then we check num greater than 10. If the user enter more than 10, then we will ask the user to enter the less than the number entered is greater than 10. The number entered is greater than 10. Else correct entry. What you have done is correct. Okay, so therefore you can say correct entry. So first user has to enter one number. We'll check whether the number is below the 10. So if below the 10, what we are expecting, then we print correct entry. If we enter above the 10, then we will print the number is above the 10. So here is greater than 10. So let's execute this. So now we'll enter 5. We say correct entry. What your enter is correct. Now we enter 11. The number enter is greater than 10. So therefore you are not enter the value which is specified. The specified value is 0 to 10. So therefore we'll check the condition. If the user enter correct number, it will go to else part and will print it. If user enter greater than 10, then it will go to this part and it will give the message the number entered is greater than 10. So sometimes like now when there are options are there, if the user not enter the correct options, so this way you can check the option and give the message to the user. So next is another example. So with the else statement. So here you can see that we are using the else. So in this case, if the user not enter correctly, then you will show the message they not enter correctly. Else if the user enter correct input, then you will get the correct entry because this is based on this condition. So you can make this condition vice versa also. If number is less than 10, so then this is the true part. So this you can take to this place. So less than or equal to 10, even 10 is included, therefore you can say less than or equal to 10, correct entry. Else you can say that is the entered is greater than 10. So this way also you can write. Okay. So now I'll say 5, correct entry, because 5 is less than 10, correct. So then you go execute this and you say 12, 25. So number entered is greater than 10. So if you change the condition, so earlier it is a greater than symbol, then the true part is here, false part here and true part is here. Now less than or equal to, then true part is here and then false part will be this side. So therefore the condition, checking condition is also very important. Okay, so let's try for the next one. So in this case, not only number, you can also check for the text. Let's see how to do that. Here you can say S1 is equal to input, enter your name. So if len of S1 is greater than 1, your name is, okay, so len should be greater than 1. If it is 1 letter, okay, so even it's 1 letter also it's okay, therefore you can say equal, or you can say len is equal to greater than 0. It should not be 0, it should be greater than 0. That means at least 1 letter. Fine, greater than 0, print your name, else you are not enter the name. So without entering, you press the enter key, then you have to tell the user you are not enter the name. S1 is equal to input, enter your name. Now user has to enter the name, that will go to S1. Now in the len, in the if condition, we use the len function. Len function to check how many characters are present in S1. If that length is greater than 0, I mean any number, then you print your name is whatever the name. Else you are not entered your name. So therefore that is where the message will come. So now let's say we don't enter anything, press enter key. You are not entered your name. So here you are not enter the name. Next, you'll execute, you will enter the name, Raj. So your name is Raj. So this is to check whether the user entered the name or not. So later you can check whether the user entered minimum number of characters. Okay, assume that if minimum characters is 4, at least minimum characters should be 4. Greater than or is equal to 4. So then at least you can see that you can change the message. Your name must be at least name must be at least 4 characters. At least 4 characters. Okay. So now what happened? So execute this. Enter your name. I'll say Raj. So now it say not print the Raj because it should be at least 4 characters. Then execute again. You can say Rajyam space M, then 5 characters. Therefore it print. So your name is Rajyam. Fine. So please write down this, or you please try this example and see that working fine. So next one, to check what number you are entered, whether you enter 1 or 2 or 3. Fine. So now let's take this code and then put it over here. So in this case what happened? We say input, enter a number. You need to enter the number. That will convert into integer and then we'll pass to A. Now A will have the value. If A is equal to 1, then you say print 1. Then if A is equal to 2, print 2. If A is equal to 3, print 3. What are the number you enter, it should print that number. So we'll enter 1. So 1 will printed. 2 is printed. 3 printed, okay. Then you can say 4. 4, nothing will be printed because we are not written the code for the 4. So you can continue till 10, okay. But this is not a good idea, because what happens if you write this way, the condition will be checked every time. It will check for this also. Even though it's true, okay, if it's equal to 1, then system will come and check this also. It will check this also. It will come and check this also. So naturally, if we keep checking every statement, it takes very long time. So in order to avoid this, so once we check this, we don't want to check the rest of the things. Therefore, we have called as a else if or elif. Generally called as a else if. So here we call as a elif. Right. So now let us see that how it works. Okay. I'll just take 2 statements here. So elif. What is else if? If this condition is not true, come and check this condition. If condition is true, then you don't need to check this condition. So straight go away from this statements. So you don't need to check this statement. Right. So now here you can see that please enter the number. Number will go and then it should print the number. Give 1. So 1 is printed. 2. So 2 we are not written here. So therefore we need to write for the 2. 0 and 1 we written. So therefore if else if. Why else if? So if this statement is true, then we don't want to execute this. If statement is false, then you have to check this statement. So same way you can continue and then you can say 2, 3, 4. So we need to complete the up to 10. So all these things, okay, 1, 2, 3. Then also there is a else statement here. Else we already discussed. If the number is not in the list, what are the conditions you are given? In that list it is not there. Then you can say that not in the list. Whatever you enter is not in the list. So enter choice. Let's say 2. 2 is printed. And let's say 10. So 10 not in the list because we are not provided in the list. That is outside the list. But in order to check up to 10, we need to continue the code. Please try that. Don't stop here. Up to 10 you type and check up to 10. If possible, you make up to 20 because all unique numbers only 19, 20. Fine. So after that, let's say 21, 21. That combination can be possible. But anyway, up to 19, generally you need to check individually only. So write on one statement 0 to 19 and execute it and check it out. Okay. So we'll move on. Now we'll check 2 variables. So till now we checked for the one variable. Now let us compare with the variable with the variable. One variable with the other variable. So what we want to do is, here is the statement. So now A is equal to 33, B is equal to 30. So now I'll make 33 only, okay. If A is equal to B, A, B are equal. And that is what the statement. Let's execute. So A and B are equal. So because both are 33, 33, generally they are equal. Now let's say I make 30. So they are not equal, naturally you won't get any output. There is no output. Then we can write one else statement. Else. Okay, so we also compare whether A is greater than B or something. So therefore you can use the else if. So here is else if. If A is greater than B, then what is the message you want to give? A is greater than B. A is greater than B. So here it is. Done. So then one more statement, if B greater than A. So if A is equal to B, then we will print this. If A is greater than B, we will print this. If it's B greater than A, then we want to print this. Right? So save this. So now you can say A is greater than B. So A is greater than B. So if you make 20, then you can see that B is greater than A. B, because B is 30, therefore it is greater than 20. Then you can modify this program. So what is B value? B value has to come, A value has to come. Therefore user should know like what is that value. So therefore the statement is true or false, he can know. Then you write an input statement here to read the variable, A variable, then the B variable. Then you need to do the comparisons. So please do that. You can pause the video, try it. Okay, so more, we'll go to one line statement. There is also called as a one line if statement. So here after colon we can write the statement here itself. So instead of next line, by providing the indent we have to write the statement. So in this case we can write in the same line itself. Here is if A is greater than B, so A value and B value is required. So let's say, okay, so some 3. If A is greater than B, print A is greater than B. So A is 3 is there, okay, and that is false. Actually let's make 5. A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3, A greater than B, print A greater than B. So A is greater than B. So here only we are printing the value. If this is bigger, then nothing will be printed. Nothing is printed. Then what to do? So here is another option. So in this case, first you will print A if A is greater than B, else print B. So instead of B, what you can say that A greater than B, we will write as A greater than B. Greater than B. Else we can say that B greater than A. Fine. So both are there here. So first only there is a statement, print statement. Then if A greater than B, so print if A greater than B. Here we can say that if it is greater than B, it should print this. Else it should print the right side. Okay. So we make everything in a single line. True part, false part. So B is greater than A. So because B is 8, so it's greater than A. Therefore B is greater than A. Fine. So this option is provided, therefore you can utilize it. You want to write in a single statement. Okay. So we'll have one more example here. This is for R and R not. So basically we want to understand like how to use the logical operators and R, and then one more called as a not. Fine. So now we will show you like and R operator here. So here is an example. We should put the enter category. So category should go to category variable. Enter product ID. The product ID should go to the product ID. And then amount is equal to 0. There is a variable here. Now here what you want to do is, so there are category, A category, B category, C category. In each category there are 3 products. There are 3 products and the product number 1, 2, 3 and the corresponding prices. Again B there are 3 products and the corresponding prices are there. Again in C there are 3 products and the prices are provided. Now user has to select the category and then select the product ID. So product ID is 1, 2, 3. Product ID is 1, 2, 3. You need to select whether it is 1, whether it is 2 or 3. Based on that we want to print these values. Okay, so quite lengthy program. So just try this. So guys, around 20 lines. Right, so here is a category variable input category. So this is a category input product ID. Then P amount is equal to 0. Then this is repeating. Okay, same thing is repeating here. So if is equal to A, should A work for A? If is equal to B, is equal to C. And the amount is changing. Product ID is same, but corresponding amount is changed. So based on the selection, so you need to show the amount. Now let us run this project. So category is A, B, C. So therefore you can select A. Fine. Product ID I select 1. Category selection is wrong. Okay. So therefore you can see that what we written is there is a else statement here. If nothing is selected, it should come to nothing out. Like if your P amount is greater than 0, so here is P amount is 0. If it's greater than 0 means it should execute any of this statement. Once it's executed, the P amount is automatically reassigned and there are some value. If P amount is greater than 0, then product amount is, that amount has to come. If the P amount is 0, then it will show this one. Now we entered A and product ID 1. So according to our this thing, it should show me 1000. But here it's not executing. Why it's not executing? So let's say A 1. So it says the category is not done. So why it is not done? Then see, there is no errors, nothing. The program is not working. In this case, how to solve the problem? Now we need to check it out first. So what happened to our variable? So you can say print cat variable. Then also you have to print the pvar, so product var. So we have to check whether both are read and they are printing. So product A, sorry, 1 I entered wrong actually. So now 1 wrong actually, fine. Now I'll say A 1. Now you can see that it is A. So here it should be A 1. Here is 1. Then why it's not printing again? Now the next question is, so here is value read and it's passing here, and we need to check the type of it actually. So therefore you can go there and then we know like type. Type will give what type it is, what type of variable it is. Same way here also use the type. So this is a pvar. So we need to figure out what type of variables they are. Now let's say A 1. When you can see that class str, the first one is str, fine. Second one class str. You can see that 1 become str. That is now string. So if it's string, you can't compare the string like a number. This side is a string and this side is a number. It cannot be compared. So therefore what you have to do is we need to convert this into integer. So because of that only, in a previous example we give as a conversions. Okay, we can write int there only, or you can write in the next line also. So then I'll write it here only, int. Okay, so this is where the talent will come into picture. How do you solve when the result is not coming? How do you solve the problem? So that is what very important in the programming. That will comes with the experience. So therefore you need to practice more and more. Okay, now we can see that the product amount is 1000. So you selected A category, so it's A category, and here is the product ID 1. So this is 1 and the amount is 1000. Right? So now execute it again. Fine. So now I'll say C, capital C or small c, okay. Now I'll say 3. You can see that the product amount is 80. So here is 80. Fine. So therefore you need to practice more and more, and when you don't have the result, you should have the ability to figure it out how to get the result. Where is the wrong? Why is wrong? So you know, like if everything is works fine without this, we don't need to worry about all these things. But now it's not working, then you need to figure it out where is the problem. So therefore you need to debug the values and figure it out what is the problem and where is the problem. Then how to solve the problem is also very important. Hope you understand some concept of if conditions. So as I told already, it's just a beginning. You have to go a long way. You have to learn each day one new concept. So end of the day, when you write a complex project, it's huge. A lot of things you need to know. We try to explain at least something in each chapter. Therefore, follow the chapters, learn properly, practice again and again, understand the whole concept. Copy the code and execute is easy, it is a one time. But you should know like why the result is coming. If the result is not coming, why result is not coming, where is the mistake, and how to solve that mistake. And you need to check every code, and if you have any doubts in any code, so you need to figure out why it is like that. And if you have any doubts, you can also write into the comment box. Good day. Bye bye.